Hello, I am Laura Ann Phillips. I am a student of the MFA in Creative Writing program at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. And for Campus Lit Week, I will be reading for you from my manuscript an excerpt from the chapter entitled Repeat Offenders. Now, in this chapter, we focus on two sisters who are aliens from outer space who had been hiding out on Earth secretly for thousands of years. So they have both been able to assume human form. They've both been able to assimilate into Earth culture wherever they are. So at this time, they are located in Belmont, in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean. In their human forms, Idaline is chubby and fat, a lady, and her actual form is something quite beastly. Her sister Elsie is in her human form. She's a very thin, tall lady, very elegant and graceful. Her natural form is plant life. She's a plant-based creature. So also in this story, we find Edward, who is a normal, regular Earth cat, Elsie's actual treasure. And in this story, they have been, they're at the 50-year mark because they have so assimilated that they only consume human flesh every 50 years. So they've come to that place and they have essentially worked out a plan where they will attract human meat to themselves by essentially being available for bandits and opening themselves to a visit from bandits. So here is the excerpt. "Ogom, ogom, ogom," Ida squeaked, quaking beside one of the pony walls, her face close to the polished teak floors. The back road's streetlight cast only a very mild glow. "Take anything you want, anything you want, anything you want." Ida opened the telepathic door. Elsie saw how the warmth of the man standing over Ida stirred her sister, made her tingle deliciously inside. The cold of the gun's shaft along her cheek and neck roused gentle waves of adrenaline. His calves were muscular, toughened by lots of walking, climbing perhaps. Ida inhaled deeply. Or running. "Some green pawpaw in the marinade," Elsie heard Ida's voice tumble around her head. "Some in the pot." "Distracting, Ida," Elsie communicated back from behind the wall of the stairwell. 3 more men crowded through the kitchen door, masks, glinting guns, trousers reaching their knees. Like pirates in truth, she thought. The 4th man skidded a little and put a hand on the dining table to steady himself. His rubber slippers smacked against the ground as he adjusted his position, holding his gun like a TV assassin. Good make, his gun was, but poorly maintained. Dented barrel, shiny patches interspersed with dull ones on the forestock. If he fired, the laser gun would probably set him on fire before anything else. She half smiled. Her thoughts used to wander so much whenever Trevor read from those gossip rags, on and on about alien weapons dumped in the Caribbean, laser guns and star barbs that melted you as they carved through tissue. How did all that information stick? Her eyes must have been closed for a second. Somebody's hand was on her neck and hauled her bodily out of the stairwell. She tried to pull the peach dressing gown tighter around her fine straw frame. "That one belly big," Ida's musings echoed around her head again. "We'll have to trim some of that belly fat." The belly man threw Elsie, cowering beside Ida, whose shudders, it suddenly struck the man above them, seemed strangely like giggles. "Oh, see in here," said the man who was last inside. "All them things on the wall, sunroof too. See the stars." "We're here to watch no stars," a voice like rusty galvanized came from a tall, lanky board. "Bone soup," Ida tumbled round again in Elsie's head. For when we watching the Marsh Gras, "Them woman still have plastic on the couch, boy." Thick golden plaits peeped out from under the observer's black beanie. "On the furniture here too." It was a woman's voice, her laugh anything but bright. She touched a bare bony knee to the couch. A man with an arched torso looked round with narrowed eyes, tracing small circles on the ground with his thick-soled plastic slippers. "Everywhere covered in plastic." And he went very still. Somebody seized Elsie by her loosely piled hair, thrust her hard into the pillar of the pony wall. She raised moist, submissive eyes, about to give the answer to "Where the money?" when her terror turned very real. There was Edward, wobbling in between the bare bowed legs of the kitchen door guard. "What?" the man exclaimed, stumbling backwards as clammy fur brushed his bare flesh. He pulled a leg back, twitched, about to release it into Edward's side. His supporting leg remained freestanding. Silence, until the belly made a choking sound, a sob. Golden Tips began a wail, and somebody let off a shot in Ida's direction. She hovered in a crouched position near the corner of the ceiling, above a dimly illuminated print of a detailed rock etching. Close enough that the man at the table, who had fled under it, could compare the creature in the print and the one that had torn the interrupted kicker in two, one of the hurled parts having landed on the plastic beside him. Long torso, thick cream coat with chocolate spots ringed in gold, splotched with blood. Large rounded eyes gazed into the distance. Two of its 6 legs held a hunter's neck and legs. His spear was falling between flailed arms. Its mouth was open. 2 arcs of teeth ready to clamp down around the man's mid-region. Piles of human in various states of twisted, torn, inside-out dismemberment lay around its 4 other legs. Its 6 tails were upraised, each topped with thick, pointed spikes splayed out of their round tips, each eerily resembling a morning star weapon that table man remembered seeing in movies about medieval knights. He hadn't seen when the fat woman had become it. Elsie cradled Edward to her bosom, levitating as she formed a cocoon around them both, downy flower petals and leaves cushioning him, thorns thrusting through the tightly twisted exterior vines that repelled lasers and burning starbarbs. Edward's broken muffler purr throbbed against her heart. She inclined her head towards her breast, humming the lullaby her mother once warbled, all those stars and light years away. She reached the bottom of the stairs, barely aware of the howling, sobbing, tearing, crunching mayhem, when she heard the wheeze Elsa made when displeased. "Ides?" She turned. "Elsa!" Ida was pacing like an angry cat in mid-air, all 6 tails flaring like a fan. "It's only 6. "Yes, okay, I'll be right down as soon as No, I mean was 7. 7 of them." "All right, yes, there was a little one." Ida swept down, kicked the dismembered leg that was still standing. The 3 points on either ear stood alert like starbursts. "We have to get it." Elsie felt Edward turn and nuzzle into the other end of the cocoon. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy Campus Literature Week 2025.